Okay, Jimmy, it's time to recording.
Oh God, Songsun, you are really bad. I told you that you must get out this building before sunset. What time is it now? What time is it now?
It's 10 p.m.
Yes, 10 p.m. And I'm really scared when I see you in the night time.
I'm sorry.
Go away! Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce Mr. Jaebom Kim, a leader of Public Policy and Certification Sub-Working Group of FIDO Korean Working Group and Principal Researcher of TTA. Hello, my friends, my colleagues, and all the attendees here in FIDO Plenary 2021. I'm Jaebom Kim. It's not funny anymore. First of all, it is my pleasure to be here to deliver my presentation here in FIDO Korean Showcase. Today, I'm going to talking about lessons learned as a FIDO accredited laboratory over the past 3 years. TTA operate both security evaluation and biometric testing laboratories, but today's talk is only about biometric testing laboratory. First of all, we will briefly talk about the definition of biometrics. In addition, I will explain the various challenges that we faced during the biometric testing and evaluation processes, and also discuss how TTA has overcome those difficulties. We will also talk about what the market needs and what needs to be prepared to reflect those needs. The biometric authentication is becoming increasingly popular because it is more easy and faster than a password and also easier than carrying around a separate security key. Mr. Frank Dixon, Research Vice President of IDC, said the lack of standard has long been an issue in biometrics, forcing security professionals to get deep in the weeds to not only understand the attributes that are important, but subsequently evaluate vendors on those attributes. An unbiased alliance-based certification program expedites solution evaluation for companies, but also easy adoption by providing assurance to the C-suite of proper choice. I believe that the FIDO biometrics certification requirements provide a consistent guideline, making it easy to implement the biometric authentication mechanisms. Now let's talk about the definition of biometrics. The performance indicators of biometric devices includes FAR, pulse accept rate, FRR, pulse reject rate, which expresses the security and usability of the recognition algorithm with a significant probability. The IAPAR, imposter attack presentation accept rate, which indicates the result of detecting fakes, and FDA, failure to attempt, and FTE, failure to enroll, which indicate the observed usability. Among them, only FAR, FRR, and IAPAR are used in FIDO certification program. FAR and FRR are performance indicators of the matching algorithm. This applies the rule of three suggested by the ISO standard and is divided into 5 levels. FAR is the statistical probability for the given confidence interval. On the other hand, the FRR is the result of the online test and being verified by the offline test. In other words, FRR is an actual measurement result. The characteristic graph of FAR and FRR are shown below on the left. This shows the correlation between the two performance indicators. In other words, FAR and FRR cannot be expressed simply as a single indicator, but should be expressed as when FRR is 1%, FAR is 0.001%. There is no rating for IAPAR in the FIDO certification criteria. Currently, the legacy FIDO biometrics certification requirement requires an IAPMR of less than 20%, and the current version, which is 2.0, requires an IAPAR of less than 7%. IAPAR and IAPMR, the same indicators, but it just changes the word from match to accept. The graph on the right below shows the correlation between pulse reject rate and pulse leaving rate. According to the result of this study, if improvement of IAPAR can simply by changing the configuration settings, the likelihood of real people being identified as fake is very high. Therefore, to catch the two birds with one stone, passing the certification test and improving usability, it is necessary to bring overall characteristic curve closer to the 0 point by introducing a difficult and complex presentation attack detection technology. Now let's talk about the difficulty of biometric testing and evaluation. Sometimes you have to do others better than your core. When I was studying, I was straight A student, except for computer programming. Computer programming was so difficult for me, so I chose my major as RF engineering to avoid computer programming. But I realized that my thought that was wrong just after starting my first career. Programming technique is another essential for outstanding RF engineer to design and analyze complex RF field. What about global big tech companies? What is the common sense of those companies? The company that makes the most advanced technology in the world, or the best creator of open ecosystem? Yes, I agreed, but I think the real common sense of those companies are that they do others better than their core. All they have best sophisticated auction pricing model to get a profit. This is also same for FIDO Biometrics Laboratory. Biometrics Laboratory have to do others better than testing and evaluation. During biometric testing, security evaluation is basically performed by creating a fake biometric and attempting to recognize it in various ways. We call the fake as PAI, which is Presentation Attack Instrument, and the PAI has 3 levels depending on the attack potential. Level A is the easiest crafting level, Level B is the medium, and Level C is the most difficult one. In other words, Level A has the highest attack potential. Conversely, Level C has the lowest attack potential. The FIDO biometric certification requirement do not require presentation attack detection of Level C PAI. The FIDO biometrics requirement also provides examples of PAI species, but implementation of PAI is sole discretion of laboratory. Even FIDO biometric secretary review recipes of laboratory during certification approval processes. And the quality of PAI, which means spoofing possibility, may differ on laboratories. You may believe it or not, the 2.5 dimension masks in the lower left corner in this slide are TTA's first successful spoof attacks. In fact, recent face recognition devices have very advanced presentation attack detection capabilities, so there is no possibility of a successful attack with a low-quality mask. And the rest of the masks are also 2.5 dimension masks recently made by TTA. Here, the 2.5 dimension mask refers to the mask created by performing 3D modeling with 3 to 5 photos without performing 3D scanning. How is it? Can you feel the changes in the quality level of the mask over the past 3 years? Of course, the FIDO biometric certification requirement do not require the detection of Level C mask as counterfeit, but we have to create these masks because of market needs. PAI validation is another challenge for the laboratory. The FIDO biometric certification requirement provides examples that how to validate PAIs. It is a sufficient score obtained by NFIQ or disable the PAT presentation attack detection function on the TOE device or using technically similar devices. But NFIQ2 only provides processed image quality of fingerprint to operational recognition performance and not ensure images from genuine and PAI are technically identical. And some biometric systems cannot remove or disable presentation attack detection function. Validating the proposed test method and ensuring the validity of the result are the keys of the third-party conformity assessment according to the ISO 17025. This can be a method presented in international, regional, and national standard, or a method presented in a well-proven research paper, or a method developed and verified by a laboratory. The validation examples of FIDO biometric certification requirements are faithfully explained, but the application method may greatly different depending on the interpretation. Recently, we are using our own method together with the FIDO biometric certification requirement validation examples. We wish to approach it as technically as possible. The two from the left are the living person and the person's fake mask. The analysis result of the system showed that both masks would be sufficiently effective attacks. Conversely, the far right one shows that the created mask is not valid at all. In fact, this is because it compares different people and masks. Doing research and development is really not easy. By the way, it is extremely difficult to do something other than measure. Creating more sophisticated PAI than developing various hardware and software for validation requires dozens of times more effort. Imagine all we have measured in electronics engineering, computer science, security analysis, and mathematics. To create good fingerprint PAI, the acquired latent fingerprint image must be enhanced. This is because, unlike fingerprint images acquired through a scanner, non-cooperatively acquired latent fingerprint image contains many noises, no matter how it was accurately acquired. Have you ever been doing dozens to hundreds of image enhancement by Photoshop? This activity really requires super upload with patience. So we have devised and using an image enhancement tool based on edge detection and picture point extraction. This tool is great help in enabling biometric laboratory to focus more on the core. This is the story of TTA's childhood difficulties while operating the FIDO Biometrics laboratory. Now we are quite experienced, and actually we are good because we did our fingers to the bone to others better than our core. Still, we are struggling, but I believe that our efforts will eventually help to improve the performance and security of biometric devices in the market. Over the past 3 years, we learned that sometimes we have to do others better than our core. What I received the most requests from various stakeholders in the biometrics authentication market was that they only wanted to obtain a separate certification for presentation attack detection performance. Of course, this may be a test report from an accredited body performed under ISO standard or a certification program of another certification body. However, the certification programs of another certification bodies are only valid in certain countries or industries. Let's talk about cases that the vendor has been greatly disgraced. For example, successful attack with iris reflected in the mirror, or 3D scanned and printed face, or directly casted fingerprint. Our test methodology starts from the basic assumption that we use stolen biometric information, but the public wants a consumer device that can only be authenticated by oneself, not authenticated even with an artifact that resembles oneself. If FIDO creates a separate certification program for PAD, the demand is expected to be very high. How about going one step further and identifying separate grades for PAD labels? I know that people who work in this industry, like me, dislike labels since the other people believe that most high level is safe or sometimes require excessive labels. Even that, the market needs labels to easily distinguish the performance. In addition, consumer product vendors wishes to find out FIDO biometric subcomponent that can detect legacy PAI very well. In fact, performance tests could be carried out without facing big troubles when we comply with the procedure presented by FIDO requirement and ISO standard. The difficulty of the performance test is that it has to recruit a large number of people, 125 to 550 persons. And the recruited sample group is structured so it can represent the population of the actual use environment. And this difficulty has become extremely difficult due to the COVID-19 pandemic situation that we faced. We have been struggling over the past year to find a way to solve this problem. In addition, it was concluded that one of several possible approaches is valid, so advanced academic research for the possible approach is being conducted. Since the research process up to now is on a cruise, therefore, it is expected that our research result will be published in the near future. This is the end of my presentation. Take this opportunity. I especially thanks to Dr. An, the chair of FIDO Korean Working Group, and all of my colleagues. In addition, I hope to meet you all in the offline very soon, and we can share more lessons learned from various accredited laboratories. Thank you.